Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Let's continue to look at who God is. Let's explore another part of his character today. Let's look at his heart in a fresh new way and let it speak to us. Today I want to begin in Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 27. And it says, "The eternal God is your refuge." The eternal God is your refuge. Or another translation says, "The eternal God is your dwelling place." Where you and I exist is in the eternal God. We sometimes, I think, look at our lives here, and I know, I'm elderly now, and it seems like life has been so short. It seems like it's gone by in an instant. The years seem to speed up as we get older, don't they? And we recognize that our time here is finite. But the greater truth that we need to understand today and realize today is our real being, who we are, is in the eternal God. He is eternal. He is the never-ending God. Sometimes it feels like things here will never end. I was to the dentist here a couple of weeks ago and had to have some work done. And it was only in there for maybe half an hour, but it felt like eternity. I'm a real wimp when it comes to needles and dentists. But the reality was it seemed like a long time, but it wasn't really. And that's partly because I was not enjoying myself. That, I don't say, well, I think I'll have a good time today. Oh, I think maybe I'll go to the dentist. No. That's not where I intend to have a good time. So, where I am at the moment makes the time that I am there seem long or short. And you and I, our lives have been brought into the eternal God. Our life is Christ. We are in him and he is in us. We are part of that eternal blazing aliveness that's never ending. It's never going to end. So, when you and I get discouraged, and some of us maybe listening today are elderly, we're towards the end of our lives in this world, and it can feel depressing or discouraging sort of sometimes, but we need to realize that we are in the never-ending God, and therefore we are never ending, and that makes the whole thing a different picture, doesn't it? The everlasting God. He is going to outlast every situation that we face. He is going to outlast every problem that we encounter. He is going to outlast every storm that we find ourselves in. Do you remember the story when Jesus is in the boat and they're going across the Lake of Galilee, and partway across a storm blows up and the boat's sinking, it's getting full of water, and they wake up Jesus who's been sleeping, and they say, "Don't you even care?" You see, they did not understand they were in the boat with the eternal God. He's not going down. He's going to outlast that storm. And that's when he said to them, "Where's your faith?" Like, I believe part of what he's saying is, don't you understand that I'm eternal? Don't you understand that I outlast all life's storms? I will be there when they're over. And because you're with me, you will be too. That's good news for us today. No matter what you're going through, no matter how difficult, black, and stormy it may seem, the never-ending God will be there when it's all over. And because you are in the boat with him, you will be too. That's an encouraging word for us today. The never-ending God who brings us into and shares that never-ending life with us. So that not only is he going to outlast all the storms of life, not only is he going to be there when it's all over, so are we. So are we. The never-ending God, the eternal God. He is our dwelling place. I just encourage us today as we think about that, as we take some moments with him in meditation or word or worship, that we understand that's where we live. Our citizenship is in heaven. We are with him we are with him. He said, I will take you to be with me. He wasn't talking about taking us to heaven. He was talking about when he rose from the dead, he would take us into his very life. I'll take you to be with me. I'll take you to be in that eternal God, in the eternal Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's where you are now. That's your dwelling place, in the eternal God. So I just encourage you today, no matter what you're going through, no matter what it seems is trying to defeat you and bring despair and discouragement into your life, just understand, he is the eternal God. You're in him, and we will outlast whatever the enemy. You see, the enemy is not eternal. He can't bring trouble eternally to us. We will outlast his trouble. We'll outlast his schemes. We'll outlast his dastardly deeds. And we will live with the eternal God because he is our dwelling place. Let's think about that today and rejoice in it, and we'll talk again tomorrow.